Hello, my name is Michael, and on behalf of Newgen Software, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch our demonstration today. Before we get to the demonstration, I just wanted to quickly highlight a brief solution overview. Newgen provides a truly digital, omni-channel, and cross-channel experience for borrowers applying for consumer loans. The solution has the ability for auto-decisioning, along with integrations to the required third-party systems, such as IDV, IDA, credit bureaus, auto valuation systems, core banking, and beyond. The solution also provides a full-fledged back-office system for the financial institution's users to be able to perform manual reviews and follow-ups for any cases that require a review. This all happens in an efficient and completely digital manner that eliminates workarounds and manual data re-entry. Let's get to the demonstration. We're going to go ahead and walk through the borrower experience first. So here, imagine you have a borrower that's navigated to your website and wants to apply for a loan. What we're doing here at the beginning of the process is just making sure that they have everything they need to complete the application in one sitting without having to get up and try to locate additional information. When this happens, you do run the risk of the borrower not completing the application and just increases the abandonment rate there. Now, the first question we're going to ask is if they are an existing online banking customer. If they are, we do have the ability to allow them to go ahead and enter in their online banking credentials and log in through integration. And this will pre-fill the application for the borrower. So it makes it really easy for any of the existing borrowers or deposit account holders that already have an online banking profile to pre-fill all their information and not have to complete a full application. I'm going to go ahead and complete this as if I am a new borrower. So we do ask for the zip code, and this allows you to have a geofencing capability within the system here. Now, once I enter in my zip code, we do have some language here regarding the communication consent, electronic notice, and consent agreement. And you can see that I am not able to click it until I actually go ahead and click on the disclosure document here. So once I do that, I'm able to close this and I'll be able to proceed with the application here. The next step is to capture the borrower's personal information. For the new borrowers, we do an ID scan. So I can go ahead, click that I'm going to upload my driver's license. Now on the laptop, once I click this, it's going to allow me to upload an existing file. On a smartphone, a tablet, for example, once I click this camera icon here, I do have the option to also go ahead and snap that picture in real time. So I'm just going to go ahead and upload one of the sample images I have here available. And you can see that Deborah's information has been already filled in for me. I'm going to go ahead and enter in a few pieces of information that are not on the license that are able to be extracted. So the social security number and of course the email address, which we do ask for a confirmation. Now, once I click continue, I wanted to also highlight a couple things to keep in mind as we're walking through the application. So here you can see that we are presenting the FCRA disclosure. So we do have to go ahead and agree in order to complete the rest of the application. Now, as we're moving through the application, keep in mind that everything you're seeing here is completely configurable. So the layout of the screens, the look and feel, the order of the questions, the order of the screens, what's mandatory, what's optional, all of that's completely configurable. In addition to that, everything that's happening here on the application is being recorded in the system's underlying audit trail. So all of the agreements, acknowledgements that I'm clicking on here, all of that is being recorded as well. Now, since we have captured the email address just a moment ago, we do have the ability to go ahead and send a one-time password over to this email to confirm we are dealing with the person that is who they say they are. So once I move forward, this is where in the demonstration environment, I do have the option to browse through the different lending products. Now, in a real-world scenario, typically the borrower would have already known what they were looking for, and that would have started the journey. So this page really is just for demonstration purposes, where we can show all the different options and types of loans that we can support here pretty easily online. I've gone ahead and I've selected the auto loan, and then even within the auto loan, I have different options. If I'm looking for pre-approval, a newer vehicle, older vehicle, recreational vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and select an older vehicle here. We're going to go ahead and proceed here with finish capturing the basic information. Anything that I have already captured is going to be filled in for me. I don't have to do this more than once, but we do also need the phone number here. And this page, address has already been captured, but now we're going to start to encounter some of the lending related questions. So here we do have a question about what is my housing type, as well as what is my current length of residency. So let me go ahead and answer those questions here. And then as I move forward, we're also going to start to capture information about the employment situation here. So let me go ahead and enter in date of hire. The time is calculated for me. Let me go ahead and also enter in what is my company name, title, as well as zip code, phone number, and the employment income type here. Once I do that here, we do have an option for allowing the borrower to add a co-applicant to the application. Of course, we are also making sure that we are capturing the consent to apply for credit jointly. So we do have this statement here. If I want to do this, of course, I just click yes and continue forward. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and say no and continue forward as an individual borrower here. So at this stage, we're going to capture some of the loan details. Now, before we complete the application, I did want to just quickly highlight something that I haven't so far, is that up at the top of the screen, of course, we do have those different milestones as we're walking through the application. This way, I always have an idea of where I'm at in the application, how much longer I have to go, so I'm not kind of sitting here wondering that as I'm filling out the application. But back here on the loan details, the product and loan type has already been captured for me. So I just need to go ahead and answer a few questions here. So if I'm looking for, lease buyout, purchase for a used auto, as well as my loan amount here, I'm going to go ahead and say $12,000 in this case. And what is my desired term? Now these are rule-based fields as well. So depending on the type of loan I've selected, in this case, I've selected a used auto loan. Newer vehicles may have an optional longer term. Older vehicles might have a shorter term as the options. I'm gonna go ahead and select 48 months here. Moving forward, we're going to capture additional information about the vehicle in question. So what is the vehicle category, the vehicle type? I'm just going to go ahead and say passenger vehicle. And then now we have this question here of if I know which vehicle I want. If I don't, we're going to just go ahead and treat this as more of a pre-approval type of an application. But if I do, we can start asking a few more pieces of information here. So we are able to leverage integration with different third-party systems, such as auto valuation systems, and we can allow the borrower to start to input information and capture that estimated value. If they want to start capturing things like the year, make, model, we can do this here. You can see I just have a quick note that says, hey, I'm looking for an older vehicle loan, so I would have to change that loan type. So I would just go ahead and update the year if I wanted to proceed forward. If the borrower also even had the very specific VIN number for the vehicle that they knew they were looking for, we can even enter that in here. And we can do a search for that VIN. And then based upon the entry here, we can pull up those details here along with the actual value of the vehicle. So once I have that entered, I'm going to go ahead and move forward. And what we have here is just a quick review page just to make sure that everything is correct. If I happen to notice some error or typo, I could have always just click edit and make any updates right here on this page versus having to hit the back button and go to the previous pages. Now, before we go ahead and do a final submission of the application, we have a few more steps here. Here we're going to do a quick confirmation on the identity. So a few options here. As part of the demonstration, we are doing the out-of-wallet questions. Of course, whatever third-party systems each financial institution would like to use, we're able to integrate with those and then perform those different third-party searches if you would prefer to avoid any of the out-of-wallet questions as well. Just a quick confirmation on my employment status, citizenship status, if I am a frequent traveler, yes or no, if I'm a politically exposed person or not. So just a few due diligence questions or additional details that we want to capture here. Now, finally, one of the last steps is to capture any of the supporting documents. So we do have a supporting document checklist that is, as per your requirements. For the demonstration, we haven't made these mandatory, but I'm going to go ahead and upload. Let's go ahead and do one example here. I'm going to do a sample pay stub for my income confirmation. So once that's uploaded here, it's going to go ahead and give me that little symbol here, so I can always view what I've uploaded. It just also gives me that confirmation that that document has been uploaded as well. And then in the background, what we're able to do is perform any of those different third-party searches. And based upon the results, we're able to give a decision here online. You can see that based upon what we've found from this borrower, that we are going to require a manual review of this application. Although we do have the full capability of automated approval, decline, and of course, as you can see here, submitting this for a further review. For any of those straight through processing auto approval cases, we do also have the ability to integrate with your preferred e-sign provider, so we can capture those signatures electronically right here as part of the application as well. Now, allow me just to go ahead and change gears here slightly. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the back office here. Let me just do a quick refresh. And I'm going to log into the system as one of the financial institution users here. So imagine I am one of the users that's logging into the system. And once I log in, the landing page that we're arriving at is what we refer to as our personalized user workspace. And the reason we call it this is because the person that's logging in, depending on what their job profile is, the functions that they perform within the system, they might get a different snapshot here of the information that would be relevant to them. So for different profiles of users, we can create different dashboards and snapshots of information. So this can be, applications that are pending for my review, applications that I'm waiting for certain, valuation, appraisals, whatever the case may be. Any applications, pending, or breaching potential any compliance issues, we can have any of those reports right here as soon as I log into the system. Now, over on the left side, we have our queue list. And so you can almost envision this as the different steps in the workflow, where we would initiate the application and then move through the different steps for approvals, decisioning, documentation, booking funding. Now, I do have the ability to initiate an application from scratch. So from that initiation queue, if I just want to click that plus sign, this will go ahead and open my interface here. And we won't have to walk through the complete application here. Just wanted to quickly show you that, we can leverage integration, perform a search to find any existing customers or members here, and then go through all the different tabs here of entering in that loan information. What we're going to do here is pick up the application that we just submitted. So that online application that was completed and submitted is going to move into the pending queue. So it is pending a review, as we saw on the online portal. So let me go ahead and open this up here. Now, we just saw a quick preview of our interface here, but just to kind of give you an overview, up at the top we just have a banner or a header of information, some of the basic details. So I can see, what is the status, auto approval. You can see that the system said, hey, this does require a manual review. Down below, just a quick tracker of where we're at in the process. So currently we're at the underwriting stage. It has already been sent. Initiation would be the online application. Now down below, we have all of these different tabs. So all the different sections or categories of information are broken down into tabs. And the system works really well if you work in this logical left to right format, where we'll just address each tab, and then within each tab, address each section that's required until we finally get to the end, which is our decision at this step of the process, where we can move it forward to the next step. Now, for any of those online applications, of course, we're already going to have all that information transferred over to the back office interface. So I can see all the personal details, contact information, employment details. If this was an existing customer or member, we would be able to see any of their existing deposits, loans that they might already have. Any of the due diligence questions are there. We can just go ahead and skip over to the loan details tab, so we can see the loan request is visible here. So this was for 2019 or older vehicle for 48 months, $12,000 loan amount request. From this section, I also do have the ability to assign this loan to any particular branch or any particular user or processor that's in the organization as well. Any fees can be added here, so these can also be automated. So based upon the loan type, the loan size, you might have different fees that are associated with that. Authorized users can also add fees if necessary. So maybe if I had, maybe say just a title search, I can enter this manually if I would like to as well. Moving over to the collateral tab, we can of course see all of the vehicle details here. So everything that was input online. Any authorized users would also have the ability to override these to add an additional search if they would like, as well as capture any additional insurance information as well. Now, our searches tab is a consolidated place to see the results of different third-party system searches that are being performed. For those online applications, these are happening automatically in the background. So we're able to run those credit checks from the online application, get the results back. You can see the score. You can also view any detailed reports. So we can pull the report in, and this will be appended to the application as well. So any MLA, OFAC, Qualifile, whatever systems are being utilized, we would integrate with those here and then present those details within this tab. Now moving forward here to the actual underwriting tab within the underwriting step. This is where we're going to be able to see a lot more information regarding the borrower financials, so their income, their debt. Again, we can use integration to go ahead and have a listing of any of their outstanding debts. And then based upon the data, we can come up with a risk rating. So we do have out-of-the-box risk rating available, which of course is able to be configured to each financial institution's requirements as well. Down below, we can see different information about the interest, repayment based upon the loan request, automatically based upon the data that is been captured by the system. We're coming up with a rule-based rate on that loan. So that is being presented here. For any users that have the authority, they can make any changes to this, or any changes can require an additional approval step as well. Do have the ability to also include gap, any mechanical repair coverage. So we can go ahead and add those as part of the loan. I'm just going to go ahead in the interest of time just say no on these. And down below, we're going to go ahead and calculate our payment stream. We can select different options here. What is our term? Let's go ahead and say our payment date. Let's calculate our payment here based upon the information we've captured so far. If I scroll over further, you can see what is our payment amount has been calculated here. Now, this allows us to add multiple lines here. So if I wanted to have different scenarios, different terms, different payment dates, I could go ahead and calculate out those different scenarios. And then finally, once I do that here, let me just go ahead and get rid of this one. If I wanted to go ahead and try those different scenarios and I see the one I like, I'm just gonna go ahead and select this one as our final payment structure here. Down below, we also do have a quick summary of some of the different financial ratios. We can see the different parameters that we are checking against here as part of our loan analysis. So these are, again, completely configurable, so they can be catered to each financial institution's requirements. We also do have the ability to do any lender protection, so integrate with those systems to incorporate that as part of this tab as well. At the very bottom of this tab, we also do have a section for other cross-sell offers. So I can go ahead and run this, and we do have different options for running this through our built-in rule engine, as well as the artificial intelligence module that is optional that we have, and we can see different products that we can offer, how long that would be valid for, what is going to be their propensity to elect that offer as well. Now we do also have our e-sign tab here. As I move forward, I can select if I'm sitting here with a person, I can do an in-person signing. If I'm not, if I'm looking at this, remotely, of course, I can select the remote option, which document set that I would like, and I can go ahead and initiate that e-sign. So we do have integration with all the different e-sign providers. So the borrower would go ahead and get an email notification, and they go ahead and complete that e-signing. Within our communication tab, we do have this top section that allows for any ad hoc communications. So throughout the process, if I need to send out any notifications or emails to the borrower, I can do this right to the Newgen screen. And this will all, again, be recorded in the detailed audit trail. Down below, we can see the document checklist. So this is a rule-based document checklist that we configure as part of each client's implementation project. For the demonstration, we haven't made any of these mandatory, just in the interest of time. You can see that we did upload the proof of income on the online portal when we walked through the borrower experience. So anything that is uploaded online, of course, would be visible here to be in the back office. Anything that is outstanding, I also have this section here where I can request a document. So if I needed to go down this list and request additional documents, I can check those different rows and then click this button, and this will go ahead and send that request over to the borrower. So they would receive a link, they would click on that link and then be able to upload those documents, and they would be visible here just like this one is. Now finally, once I've gone through all of the tabs, addressed all of the mandatory sections, data, fields, I can come to my decision tab, and you can see we have a few sections here. We do have a policy exception section here, so automatically the system is able to do a quick check on the lending policy, see if there's anything that would need to be raised exception-wise. Now, I'm not able to do anything here at this level. I would have to send this off for approval. This would have to be cleared by another user that has authority to do so. I do also have the ability here to add any stipulations, which of course these are just a few sample stipulations. We're able to add and configure any stipulations that would be required. So you can select what the stipulation is, any additional comments, is a document required, yes or no. Once I've done this here, I do have the ability to go ahead and enter my decision. And if I quickly scroll back up here, you can see that we again are at the underwriting step. So I do have to send this forward for an approval. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So my decision, I can go ahead and submit this forward for approval. I could also even counter offer at this stage, decline, whatever I'd like here. So once I go ahead and select what my decision is, I have the option to go ahead and leave any comments as well. So we are looking at loan application number 131. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And once I submit this, it's going to do a final check. I had no outstanding data or documents, so it's going to allow me to confirm the yes, I do want to go ahead and submit. If I had anything that was missing, I would get alert that says, hey, please go ahead and address this point. So we were here at the pending queue. So this was also, while it's called pending, it is also the underwriting stage. And we had sent this for approval. So this is going to move up to the approval or the senior exec stage. So we are going to go ahead and pick up application 131. Now, I am not currently logged in as a user that has authority to access or approve those applications. I can go ahead and open those up. I can see that they're sitting in the approvers queue. I can open those up in read-only mode, but I don't have approval authority. If I can show you here quickly, we do have this section here where it says the work step name, and it's showing different levels here. And that all relates to the lending authority that's been configured within the system. So within our demonstration system, this is the lending authority that we've configured so far. So we have different groups, so levels 1 through 7. Over here, you can see that, hey, certain people can read only on all levels, but depending on the loan amount, whether it's secured, unsecured, different users that belong to different groups would have different lending authority. If you recall, ours just said it does a level 4. So even though it was only a $12,000 loan, so it did fall under that $50,000 threshold, you can see this note that since this did have a policy exception, it does raise up that authority level by 1. So it would normally be 3, but it is actually a 4. So if I come back here, you can see our application 131 is a level 4. So I'm going to go ahead and log out here, and I'll jump back into the system as one of the users that has that approval authority. So I'm logging in as a level 4 user. And once I do this here, I'm going to go ahead and access my senior exec queue. And we'll go ahead and open up our application here. Now, once I open this up, we've already kind of walked through some of these tabs, so I'm not going to take the time to go through those again. Just wanted to quickly show that the approvers can just quickly come here. They can jump to the underwriting tab, not necessarily having to rehash through all the personal details and all the information. So I can come to the underwriting tab, I can see all the details that have been captured, the different financial ratios, the different parameters, the values that we're checking against. So that's one option I have here for reviewing. We also do have a quick summary button here. So rather than going through the different tabs, we do provide a summary button where it just gives me a quick snapshot of all the information here about this particular loan. So the loan details, collateral information. So I do have that quick snapshot if I just want to come to one quick consolidated place. Now, assuming I've gone through all this information, everything looks good. Let me just go ahead and come to my decision tab. Now, since I'm at the approval level type of a user, we did have some policy exceptions. So I do have to go ahead and clear those before I can approve. I'm just going to go ahead and say that's okay for each of these. So just bear with me while I clear these exceptions. And again, every action is being recorded in the system. So you can see, was it cleared, who cleared it, when was it cleared? So we have all those details captured there. Once I'm good with that, I can go ahead and approve, decline. I can send it back if any updates are required. If so, I'll just go ahead and leave any comments here noting what needs to be updated. Otherwise, I can go ahead and approve this. I'm just going to go ahead and say OK. Once I move forward here, I'm going to go ahead and again do a check on the application. If there's no issues, it'll allow me just to confirm that yes, I want to submit this. And then that will go ahead and move it forward into our decisioned queue. So let me go ahead and open this up. And while this is called our decision queue, this is also our documentation queue. So now we have this new tab here, so documentation and closing. We can go ahead, generate the loan number, capture disbursement details, For any documentation needs, Newgen does have native document generation capabilities. So any documents that financial institutions are using that they might be template based, if you like it, we can incorporate that into the system. We also do have integrations with doc prep providers like Laser Pro, CSI, or now it's called TrueStage. So any of those doc prep providers we're able to integrate with. We can push the details over, allow those documents to be generated, and ingest those back into the Newgen system. So just being a demo environment, we don't have that incorporated here, but this is the stage at which we would leverage those integrations. So assuming everything is complete and done, we'll come to the Decision tab, and we'll go ahead and move this forward to the Booking and Funding stage. Just going to go ahead and say OK. Yes, confirmed. I do want to submit this. So let's go ahead and pick up our application again here at the Booking and Funding stage. And so now once this is open here, again, not going to spend time going through the previous tabs. We'll just go ahead and jump to our Booking and Funding. So this is where we're going to go ahead and have a few sections here. So here we're referring to this as user-defined fields. But what this really is a consolidated place to see any of the fields that are required for booking this loan, pushing it to the core, that may not have been captured or calculated prior to this step. So we just want to make sure that everything is done here. Just enter it once in Newgen, and then we'll go ahead and be able to push the loan over here so we can have this pushed over to the core. Again, allowing your users to stay only in the Newgen solution, not having to work in multiple systems, rekeying data. We can leverage that bidirectional real-time relationship with the core to have it all complete. Again, I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch Newgen's demonstration for our retail LOS. Thank you.